Well, good morning, my friends. I'm happy to say I have an operable K-21, Kolster K-21 this morning. A very good playing set, plenty of volume, and actually great selectivity.
Fold. An uprising
It,
to help make that happen. 877
great audio quality.
7473. UprisingCenter.com.
Let me share with you what I found that rendered the set inoperative and what I did to make it operable once again. Those of you that had followed the video yesterday will remember I had no 45 volts on this lug right here. In fact, real quick, if I may, there's two sections to this particular set. There's two separate chassis. To the rear is your main power supply chassis. It has the main power supply, your filter chokes and audio transformers, first audio and second audio right here. As one could see, it's still pretty dirty. I'm doing preliminary on it. And that makes it rather convenient when they're two separate chassis, because there's an umbilical that'll come off to provide power to the receiver chassis. And this gives a perfect opportunity for one to check voltages. And according to the schematic on terminal 5, I should have 45 volts. I did not. So I need to figure out where I was losing this 45 volts. And because it was so low, it was at 1 volt or 1.5 volt, my first intuition was to come back to the power supply side of the house. And terminal 5 comes through this audio transformer, this audio jack, a 30K resistor, through your second choke, main filter choke, first main filter choke back to your rectifier. It's a pretty straightforward circuit, so to speak. Ohmed that all out, and to my great relief, all that ohmed out good, because I was afraid I may have had a bad audio or something of that nature. And this is buried in a tar-filled can, and I just didn't want to contend with that if I didn't have to. Anyway, being that this all ohmed out good here, I thought, well, son of a gun, something must be dragging it down, so that I ohmed from terminal 5 to chassis ground, and I had a direct short. I thought, well, therein lies my problem. So I separated the receiver chassis from the power supply chassis, ohmed once again from 5 to chassis ground over here, and I had a good reading. Came over to the receiver side of the house, receiver chassis, ohmed from terminal 5 right here to chassis ground, and I had a direct short. I thought, well, son of a gun, there is my definitive problem. Very, 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 very simple circuit. It comes from 5 directly to your plate of your detector. It comes off your detector plate to a .002 cap, over to terminal 3, which 3 is grounded to chassis. So you can see where I'm going with this. This .002 cap was fully shorted. And this is one of those phenolic mica caps. And I cannot recall in recent memory ever finding a bad one of those 1920s phenolic mica capacitors. But this one was shorted, taken by B+ from terminal 5 through this cap right to chassis ground and removing it from my plate. Once I removed or replaced this .002 cap, my plate voltage returned and my set is now operable. So now that I have a good platform to start with, the restoration will begin. So stay tuned and we will talk again.